I'm sorry.
I'll get it.
You got it. What? Okay, okay. Too many radio stations, you need just one. I see you looking much hard to impress, huh? If you find the Beat Drops Radio, best, it's the Bianca Burwell Show. You gon' listen in what you been missing. Yeah, who you got for your radio job? You want to perform in the radio rock from the internet came in out of East and the West, both loving what you're saying. And who's stepping out with the hour and with the new one? Beat Drops Radio, Beat Drops Radio. Let's go. You are tuned in to the Bianca Burwell Show on the Beat Radio, your top 40 pop and R&B station, the new beat of Atlanta. I got Doug in the building with me. What's going on, Doug Lehman?
Hey, it's not a wide open Wednesday. We got a jam-packed show today and shows in following up.
Yeah, we do. We got stuff happening. We got also Master Christian Dog Show that comes on after this one, and 7 to 9 p.m. Full Belly Radio with Dave Tolliver and his lovelies, Jay Millie and El Garfield. They'll be in the building. But today we have Carol Lloyd of Black Dance Magazine, Danse. Noire, am I saying it right? Noire?
Saying it right.
Yeah, she'll give me correct if I'm jacked up. We got layman's terms today, and Ebola. We're going to talk about this Ebola thing because...
Haven't we talked enough about it?
No, man, we haven't.
It's going to blow over.
Man, it's a lot going on with the Ebola situation. People have had a whole lot to say. Some folks think that it's a hoax. And those people have told me that to my face. I said, you have lost your freaking mind. At any rate, entertainment news and more. Tyrese Gibson is blasted out on an unknown comedian. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen his blast, but which comedian is it?
His name is Spanky.
Okay.
He's somebody that, it's like, who is this dude?
There was another comedian who was blasted out on Bill Cosby.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So we're going to talk about that and more. The calling number is 404-826-9223. Again, 404-826-9223 is the calling number. The listen line, you can call from any number, 401-347-0418. If you want to see everything that's happening as it happens, just go to TheBeatDropsRadio.com, click on Watch Live, and you'll be able to see us. The Q&A board is open. That means you can join the conversation. That's the bottom of the video. It says join the conversation. Click there, and you can type whatever you want to. We'll see it come up. It has about 20 seconds lag time, and we'll see it, and we'll address whatever question or thoughts or comments that you have on your mind today. So we have our in-studio guests that will be coming up, layman's terms, and all kind of stuff. So keep it locked right here on the Bianca Burwell Show. I'm excited. I haven't seen you in a while, Doug. We got some stuff that we're going to talk about, too. I got a few things that I need to get off my chest.
Oh, all right, then.
All right, cool. So keep it locked right here. Floetic, Floetry. Then we got some Music Soul Child Radio. Calvin Richardson. She's got the love. Bianca Burwell. We'll be right back. Keep it locked.
They can't talk, but we can. Call now, 877.
You are tuned into the Bianca Burwell Show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. The calling number is 404-826-9223. The listen line is 401-347-0418. If you want to see everything that's happening as it happens in the station, go to TheBeatDropsRadio.com, click on Watch Live, and you'll be able to see what's happening. We have the Q&A box open, so you can type whatever you feel. Well, they can type whatever. That don't mean we're going to answer them.
No, you can type though.
Yeah, you can type. Doug, what's been going on, man? Haven't seen you in a little while. We've both been doing some things. So catch me up. What's been happening, man? It's it's the middle of the week. What's been going on?
Just trying to make a living, man. Just it's been holidays are coming up, trying to get set for that. Realize it's October 22nd.
Yes, it's October 22nd already. It seemed like we just started the year.
Right.
Blink your eyes and it's October. It's crazy.
No, but just trying to do what you gotta do.
This is true. I
haven't been fortunate to move like you.
Man. Yeah, we moved, and it's the arduous task now of unpacking. I hate unpacking. I absolutely hate unpacking more than I hate packing, because it takes a while for you to, once you get the few items that you use normally.
Well, you've had some experience in it recently, though. I know you're saying you throw stuff in the box to move it.
Yeah.
But then now, where do you put it?
Yeah.
And you want to put it right. You don't want to put it all.
Yeah, just hodgepodge and different kind of stuff all over the place. Geez, this is absolutely crazy. I was like, but it's coming along pretty good, and we like the neighborhood where we are. It's for the most part pretty quiet. And I like that. Just the fact that everybody can move about the cabin the way that they want to, because boy, I hated the person who lived up under me.
Has moved on.
I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that situation anymore. People can really do some aggravating stuff, unnecessarily. You know those chronic complainers.
And you were talking about just things going, because where I'm renting right now, we've got all kinds of construction going.
We got construction too.
Well, they're chopping down trees. Lots of trees.
You guys got a lot of trees.
No, but they're taking them out. A lot of them. It's like, used to have, and then see what's happened is the baseball stadium is moving to my area, and certain sections of my complex are raising the rent like 300 or so. It's getting about to hit.
Dang.
So they're trying to. Let me back up. The boy with the story is new apartment complex, new ownership. Okay, new ownership is coming, and they're renovating stuff, but they're also renovating on the high end, which is good and not good. If I found to my area was the lower last section to get renovated, which is good because I don't have to deal with the major rate increases. Yeah. And then you throw in that with a new stadium, and they're trying to build all this stuff up on that area down with the new complex, new ownership. I'm saying the same complex, new ownership. So they decided to take out all the trees, not all of them, they're chopping down trees right and left. And we got the water vein thing, exactly, and they're trying to do all these renovations, and so I'm just watching. It's amazing. They got the cranes and stuff.
Yeah, they're expecting a whole lot then, because if they're gonna raise the rent like that. I remember when we first moved here, the Olympics was coming. The following year we moved here, August '95, and the apartments that we found, they told us, they said, "Good thing you're coming right now, because next year we're raising the rent because the Olympics is coming." I said, "Oh, the Olympics is coming to Stone Mountain?" They're like, to the Atlanta area, but what does that have to do with over here?
I remember that.
I was just wondering.
But millions and billions of people are coming.
It was like, okay, I'm cool with people coming, but really you gotta raise the rent. That it's not like after the Olympics was over that they were gonna lower the rate back down. I guess they figured that people will want to move here after seeing the wonderful city during the Olympics. I don't know. So I guess they're hoping for a whole lot of people who want to move into the area for the convenience of going to the games. You think?
Yeah, they're like I said, I'm about a mile and a half away from the spot they're building on, but they're just doing all kinds of things. So, well, no, I mean, that's 2017, but wait, what we said, this year's been going, that's like right around the corner.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I'm sure we'll move 2 or 3 times at the station.
Yeah. Actually, we are looking for another spot right now. We'll be out of here by the end of this year. And I really would like for the place to that we go to next to be a keeper for quite some time. You know, just saying that.
Right.
It has to be the right configuration. You know what I mean? It's like when you move and you have your business, you want to do things that is comfortable for everybody. You guys, there's a whole lot going on in the world right now. Ebola. That is the number one conversation that a lot of people are discussing and talking about, the Ebola virus, and we've mentioned it here previously. And I mentioned before, you know, there's no reason to be shocked when all it takes is one person to be infected to get on a plane and come over. We've talked about that. There have been movies about that. Have you seen those?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of one right. Containment or contaminant.
It's something. It starts with a C.
Right.
You know, where they show exactly how that works. Well, all it takes is one person to get on an airplane, go to a highly populated area, right? They go to the highly populated area, and then they start infecting people, and it just spreads quicker. And I would think that it could spread a lot quicker in a country like ours than in a third world type country where they don't have as many, you know, as much mass transportation, people getting on and on public transportation and cars, and, you know, in the midst of millions of people. I'm just saying that's a whole lot. And what I read earlier today, that with the Ebola virus, now the airlines, there are 5 cities now, or 5 states now, where they are, you know, following people, if you will, that have come from Ebola-stricken countries, and tracking them. That's what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be tracking.
At least, you know, progress is being made. They're trying. It's a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem, definitely. And this is unlike any disease that we've ever seen before.
But like I said, I'm following it too. I keep hearing about so-and-so doctors close to a cure. Russia was close to a cure. And something else, something in Cuba now. Like, doctors working on it.
You heard that they were close to a cure?
Well, antidote, whatever. There's
something.
Yeah, and you keep hearing that, but they're like, you know, who's going to get it or who has it or do we have it?
Might outprice it to where us lowly folks can't afford it.
Well, you know, and
I don't know.
Putting that, you know, not to gloomify, if that's the word, any further. Yeah, but you take a terrorist organization like ISIL or ISIS.
Yes.
Throw that in their hands and do some stuff.
Oh, that'd be terrible, man. Talking about infecting all kinds of people, because when I saw
I'm not saying they would do that. They would behead a few people and do some other reign of terror and rape and pillage people.
Yeah, they
whatever, but
they
I don't think
without issue too. You know, in the ad or promo that I put up, I had like the Ebola virus typical path through a human body. Some of the symptoms. Have you seen that by chance? You know, some of the symptoms and the days.
Yes, I have seen that.
Yeah, I just figured I'd share that, because the first symptoms that you're talking about that one would experience would be headache, fatigue, fever, muscle soreness, and those are the first symptoms they're saying.
Everyday life.
To be separate, yeah, you can, and you know what? Headache. People get headaches. People feel tired.
I'm not trying to joke, but you know what I'm saying.
You know, people get that. And then by day 10, sudden high fever, vomiting blood, passive behavior. Passive behavior, I mean, like, do they mean like nothing bothers you? Or
passive.
You can care less?
Right.
That type of thing. But that's by day 10. Now, by day 11, it's bruising that you experience, brain damage, bleeding from the nose, mouth, eyes, and anus. It seems like at that point, that's just about a wrap. Day 11? Because I mean, in 3 days, you're saying from day 10, 11, and then by day 12, that's the final stages. You have loss of consciousness, seizures, massive internal bleeding, and then you die. From day 7 to 12, that's a wrap. Unless, you know, now one thing that I have seen with the young lady, the first nurse that was infected, in Dallas, Texas, that was on the team of, I believe, between 50 to 70 people out in Dallas, Texas. She was fortunate enough, the doctor, do you remember the doctor's name? that they flew, the first one that flew here, that the CDC oversaw, whatever.
No,
But
I'm trying to find
that doctor, he was the first one that they brought here to Emory. And Sanjay Gupta was on. He was like, we have the best facilities. We're better equipped. And him, and there was another doctor, female doctor, after him, they brought here to the Atlanta area. But what he did, the first doctor, when he found out what happened with the nurse, he flew to Dallas, Texas. Did you hear that? He flew to Dallas, Texas, and he donated his plasma to her. And that's helped her significantly.
Now, was that the young nurse that was?
Yeah, the first young nurse, not the one that flew to, that was in Ohio.
Okay.
And I do want to say this, and her name is Amber. What I will say is this, is that her uncle was on CNN. Did you get a chance to see that or hear anything about that interview?
No, I haven't.
What the news that was floating around previously about Amber that went to the Akron, Cleveland, or the Cleveland, Ohio area when she flew on a plane, it was first reported that she was being very negligent, that she said that she had a fever, but she got on the plane anyway. That was the initial story, and people were just outraged. They were like going off and, just saying all kinds of manner of things. But in all actuality, he straightened it out. He said, no, she did not have a fever when she got on the plane. She did, report to the CDC, but they called and she called back. At that time, she did not have a fever. She took the flight, and when she came back is when she started experiencing those things and notified the CDC, which was a drastic difference from what they were saying previously. You know what I mean? It's like you made this woman out to be just, you're a healthcare practitioner and you just infecting people. You just treated somebody with Ebola. But that just wasn't the case. But here's the thing. She got on the flight and she went from Dallas to Cleveland. That same plane, I think it was Frontier Airlines. And it also went to Florida. And then it also ended up here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. What about the person who sat in the seat that Amber sat in? I mean, because when we're in close confines of one another, it's like, that's not comforting. She sat here, she sat in here.
Right.
And I saw them on the news, like trying to clean up the plane. They were doing like just extracurricular cleaning. I thought to myself, y'all don't clean like this any other time. How come y'all don't clean like that's probably the best cleaning that particular airplane ever got? Do you ever wonder about that? I know I wonder about that. Like, what kind of cleaning? Because people are coughing, hacking, sneezing, and snotting on every flight.
I mean, it depends on the crew that's cleaning. Depends how busy they are. It's like anything, man. They have off day cleaning. I mean,
They have an off day cleaning?
You give people to a lazy janitor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like anything.
Yeah, but it's just surprising.
But there's got to be regulations.
You gotta have something, because I remember when not too long ago, when they were getting on the hotels and they put, did you see that when they were talking about the hotels and how half-assed they were cleaning? Did you see that?
Yeah.
They put the cameras and you thinking that, oh, this is a clean glass. They're not cleaning it out at all. They just put new paper down. They're
Cutting corners, man.
What? I'm not drinking out of nothing. These nasty jokers cutting the corners. So I'm just saying that people's nastiness, people have a lot of nasty habits. I don't know if they really, or we really recognize some of the stuff that we do. Like, for instance, I was at the tag office one day, though. I was at the tag office, minding my own, waiting in line to buy my tag for my vehicle. And this gentleman comes in. He's in a wonderful mood, right? Wonderful mood. He comes in, you guys, singing, got his little drink, and then he goes, and continue singing. I said, what the hell?
He was in a good mood.
Dude, I do not want to inhale what you just coughed out at all. And he came over and we all looked at each other like, did you just see that ish? Did you see that?
Yeah.
And it didn't faze him in the least.
He was in a good mood.
It was cool. I'm going to just, really? Come on, man. This is where I really really appreciate the people that it's my dad is a retired master sergeant in the United States Air Force. And over in different areas, they used to send him in different countries, Korea, other places, but they didn't have a problem. If they are sick, they put masks on. They have no problem with putting a mask on. It seemed like we're too cute here. I don't know. That where we just want to share our stuff with everything. And I saw in Dallas, it was a report of one of the workers that had on gloves at the airline, had on gloves and a mask, and they made him take it off. What kind of crap is that? They said, we don't want you to put that on because you create panic. And if you put it back on, we're going to let you go. You can't have gloves on and a mask? Does that make sense? I don't know. You're in the airport. People have diseases and sick. And I can't even.
I wonder if they were sick or private people. You don't care.
No. He wasn't. They interviewed him. He wasn't sick. He just wanted to prevent himself from catching whatever may be coming through the airport. And shouldn't you have that right? Shouldn't you have that right to be able to protect yourself? You're working in the air.
Right,
I mean, it's all kinds of people. I don't know. I thought this was America. And
you might also have the right to be able to sing and cough out loud.
Man, the hell. He wasn't protecting nobody. He was sharing.
He wasn't.
We should have had on the gloves and the mask.
But he was in a good mood. I could get the visual. Just all happy.
I mean, came in just nah.
And that's not exactly the place everybody's rough. So he trying to lighten the mood.
No, man.
Dude.
You lighten that up by keeping that on to your coffee in your shirt or something. I don't want to taste, touch, none of that stuff. And you know the other thing too? Have you noticed? I'm sorry, I'm just
It's all right. It's all right.
Have you noticed, like, you know, occasionally I'm at the bookstore, right? You guys, sometimes I'll go over and help out, and I'll work in the bookstore. And to me, it's really relaxing because I can read.
Reading's fundamental.
And people, all they want is books and coffee. Books and coffee. How hard is that? Books and coffee. Very easy going. And I wipe down the credit card machine. I wipe down different stuff, Lysol things down to disinfect because it is a lot of different people coming in there. I went to a very notable store, retailer, and when it was time for me to swipe my card, it looked real. I mean, it looked like they hadn't cleaned that thing since the day the store opened. It was all kind of sticky crap and just dirt, and I didn't want to touch that. What the hell? Why don't clean stuff? People don't clean stuff unless there's somebody over them making them clean. Even at some restaurants, if you watch some of them when they bust down the tables, they don't wipe down the condiment stands. They don't wipe down the menus. It's not. Just
right.
putting it out there. The people do nasty stuff and they don't think about it. They're just like, whatever. I'm here. Why don't they clean them? Think about the fellow individual coming behind you.
People lazy, man.
It's a lot of laziness happening, but I'll get off the. I guess I'll get off the soapbox for a little bit, you know. But I do want to talk about later on. I know we got Layman's Turn, Sports Layman's Turn, right?
That's right.
Yeah, we're going to talk about what's going on in sports, and we have our guest that will be coming in. I believe the top of the second hour should be rolling in, and we got to talk about business. I'm talking about jobs that we do for people and their level of expectations and things of that nature. I got something on my chest that I want to get off.
Yeah, more to get off on.
I do. It's just one of those days, doggone it. Keep it like right here on the Bianca Burwell Show. We'll be back after this. The Roots, how I got over. Keep it locked.
My song, Make It Out This Town, is about meeting the odds. So is Big Brothers Big Sisters. Many littles live in single parent, low income, military families. Too many kids, especially boys, are still waiting for a leader. Volunteer or donate. Start something. Big Brothers Big Sisters alumni, please start something. Learn more at Big Brothers Big Sisters.
The Web Zone, Stone Mountain's premier state-of-the-art technology center, invites you to listen to today's hit music, enjoy refreshments, network, and plug into the World Wide Web in our relaxing atmosphere. Located in Northeast Atlanta, the Web Zone Cyber Cafe offers a convenient and enjoyable location to check your email, surf the internet, print, scan, fax documents, and make copies, all in one location. Visitors can connect to the internet using our high-speed computers and receive online assistance at no additional charge. Our 1,500 square feet cyber cafe is staffed with highly qualified and knowledgeable trainers. Ask about our mobile training for seniors program. We deliver up to 8 internet-ready computers to your community center and train seniors to effectively use the computer and safely surf the internet. Visit us online at www.thewebzoneatl.com or call 770-465-4000 for more information and rates. The Web Zone. Get away and get online.
So the audience.
You are tuned into the Bianca Burwell Show on TheBeatDropsRadio, your top 45 and R&B station, Repeat of Atlanta. I got Doug Lemon in the building.
Back on a Wednesday.
Yes, indeed. And we have the woman of the hour. We have Miss Carol Lloyd of Black Dance Magazine, Danse, Noire. Did I say that right?
Noire.
Noire. All right, we're going to make sure that we get that together. Okay. And you also have a guest with you, and his name is?
Ed Brown.
Ed Brown. How you doing, sir?
Doing wonderful.
Hey, he's looking real cool, too. He got that cool look, the suit and tie.
Just got off the plane.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Jet
So,
setter.
yeah, is that what it is? Does they
Same.
call him jet setter?
That's what they used to call
That's what he used to say. All right.
Back in the day.
That's what
them. You can learn something.
Okay, thank you. You learned a bit on that one. So Carol Lloyd is the founding publisher of Danse, Noire.
Noire.
Noire. Why do I keep wanting to say that? She was the premier Black Dance Magazine announces that she will present an all-star tribute honoring world-renowned choreographer Catherine Dunham called A Day of Dunham. I'm so happy to have you here. And apparently, this is a emerging nonprofit and also a celebration of legacy and life of the late Catherine Dunham, whose impact on modern dance has been felt all over the world. A Day of Dunham will take place on this Saturday, October the 25th, 2014, at International Atlanta Airport's Westin Hotel. And she's enjoying herself taking pictures. I love that. I do. I love that. It's like, go forth and take pictures. The call-in number is 404-826-9223. Again, 404-826-9223. The listen line is 401-347-0418. You want to listen from any and every device, dial that number 24/7, and you can listen to what's going on. If you want to see everything that's happening as it happens, just go to TheBeatDropsRadio.com, click on Watch Live, and the Q&A box is open. So if you have any questions, comments, things like that on your mind, type it into the Join Your Conversation, and we'll be able to see it come up on the message board. And how are you doing, Miss Karen?
I am fabulous, Bianca.
I'm glad to have you.
I'm glad to
Make
be
sure
here.
that you relax the way you relax.
I'm
You
very
good?
relaxed.
All
Yes,
right,
thank
we'll
you.
make sure that we get the mic taken as much as possible. And, you know, I have to say that Robert Walker, wonderful publicist.
Yes.
And I know that anytime he refers someone to me, they're a great guest. They're doing some great things. He's never, ever, ever let me down, not once. So when I got your information, I was looking at him, I was like, He said, are you interested? Am I interested? Yeah, I want to talk to her. I want to see exactly what she has going on. So can you tell me, go back to the beginning and how you started the beginning of the organization. Can you tell us about that?
Well, the beginning of the organization, it's an evolution of me as an individual, as an artist. I started as a teenager training in dance, denim technique, in my hometown of Springfield, Illinois.
All right.
And that's when I met a lot of the wonderful people that I now work with. That was back in the day. I'm not going to give you no date. Yeah,
Okay.
because you could do the math, right?
That's all right. Right.
But I was very fortunate because Miss Dunham's concept of socialization through the arts, it encompasses taking an individual and training them in not just dance, but in living. We learned about diet and nutrition, deportment. You know, for me, it was like going to an expensive charm school when I was a teenager.
Okay.
We actually practiced cultural traditions such as Kwanzaa back then.
Okay.
And there was just so much that we learned. So she focused on the entire individual, you as a person. You know, when we were training in dance, one of the things we did in our training was she told us how to encompass your space around you so that when you enter a room, you have a presence. So imagine learning that at 16. Yeah, and the principles that I learned from denim technique as a child actually propelled my career in the arts. So I was fortunate in my career pursuits to have worked with a lot of organizations, local National Black Arts Festival, Fulton County Arts Council. My crowning glory was producing the theater and dance programs of the Cultural Olympiad in 1996. And I actually had 2 programs, theater and dance. Along the way, I managed a 2-year collaboration, international collaboration, with Irene Tessenbaum from Burkina Faso and Ballet Dance Company. And it premiered at the Olympic Arts Festival.
Well, all right. We just mentioned about the Olympics. How long ago?
She definitely got a lot of projects going.
Yeah. So I you know, I've been doing the work in the community for years. And about 6 years ago, I left the arts and culture community and went into the civil rights community. And so that's where I've been the last 6 years. I've been fortunate to work with some very prominent civil rights people who have remained, you know, friends. And it was last year, after producing Dance Africa Atlanta, that I shifted. I had left Dunham because of just, it wasn't working at one point. And I shifted gears after I did Dance Africa because it reminded me of the legacy, what I had been instilled with from the time I was a child, and more importantly, all the people along the way who I had met. Some of them, many of them are no longer here, many of the pioneers. I was really fortunate to have been trained and introduced and nurtured by some really dynamic, iconic people who are not here anymore.
Right.
So the concept for Danse Noire actually came about 20 years ago. And that was when I met Joe Nash. And he said to me, you know, you're really bright, but you can't just do Dunham, because when you just do Dunham, you miss the rest of Black dance. And so that's when I originally came up with the concept for Danse Noire. And it originally had a website and working on the publication. And but at any rate, I just mentioned that to say that it started like 20 years ago where I am now. This wasn't something that just happened overnight. It was a process. So then having left the field and now returning to the field, I had some downtime due to some illness, and I just reread all the dance books that I had, and I came up with my outline for my website. I wanted to start with the pioneers. I started with the pioneers that I personally knew, such as Miss Dunham and Tommy Gomez and Archie Savage, all those wonderful people. Ma Pearl Primus, there's a bunch of them. And I started that. It was my ground zero point, and then I just worked my way out in terms of like what I had done throughout my career. People who I had worked with, people I worked with the Olympic Arts Festival, you know, I put them on there. So I just kept building, and I realized when I originally, my concept for the website, I was going to do 100 pages.
Oh, wow.
And I wanted 100 pages because I thought, this is going to be a really fabulous website, right? And I said, somebody's going to want to come and duplicate it, you know,
Okay.
and try to commercialize it. So I said, but if I make it 100 pages, they're not going to be able to afford
Right.
to do that.
You
They're
be
not-
right on that one.
And so, but I actually ended up, it's 200 pages.
Wow.
And in 10 videos.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I kind of outdid myself on it.
Yes, yes, you did.
Yeah.
It is fantastic. You really have to go and see it.
Mhm.
It's remarkable the amount of talent that we have contributed to the dance world, and it's not talked about. It's not brought out, and this gives a good foundation for us to understand and for our children to understand
Mhm.
and help the legacy of Black dance in this country come alive.
Now, how did Mr. Brown? How did the two of you connect with one another?
Well, now back in the day,
All right.
okay,
Is there two stories to this?
Right.
Right.
well, I met Dunham. Well, I won't say a date.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
hang out. But I was fortunate to dance with one of her best premier dancers. Her name was Jackie Thompson.
Mm.
And we performed in a number of years. And finally, she left.
Mm.
You know, and she went to start her own school
Okay.
down in Springfield.
Okay.
Okay, and there she met a 16-year-old charming young lady, ready to absorb the information that Dunham had bequeathed to her.
Hmm.
And we went down a couple of times to play the drums there, because
Mhm.
drums is an important part of the Dunham technique and training. And so years went by, and finally I had retired
Hmm.
from teaching Dunham and performing Dunham. And we got a phone call, and she talked me into it. You know, have you ever met someone that was so intense in what she's doing?
That passion.
And-
Passion.
Yes, that you can't say no. You know, and it just began to revive my appreciation
Mm.
of what Dunham had done for our community.
Mhm.
One of the things that attracted me was that she, as Carol had mentioned,
Mhm.
her idea of community development,
Mm.
wherever there is a financial depression,
Mm.
economic depression in a community, it must be compensated, balanced by cultural enrichment.
Mm.
You know, so the
Mhm.
idea was to grab hold of the youth,
Yes.
try to teach them the African drumming,
Mhm.
Caribbean drumming, and dance and drama. You know, so we worked at that
Mhm.
for some 20 years in her school.
Mhm.
It was called the Performing Arts Training Center in East St. Louis,
Mhm.
SIU.
Now that was open for the community.
Yes, it was
Okay.
free of charge. There was no charge for that.
Now that's all right.
Yeah.
The only dance that I knew of coming up was modern dance, and there was this lady.
Mhm.
She seemed to have so much passion for us children
Right.
that she taught us modern dance. I got involved in it because I thought it was real cool. You know, I was in plays, modern dance, swimming. You know, but and also I realized that my mother was trying to keep us busy, me and my brothers, so that we wouldn't fall into the hands of, you know,
Right.
just negativity in the
That's
streets.
right.
Because, you know, other than that, what was it to do but just to
Right.
get into a whole bunch of foolishness?
Right.
You know, and so that's the only. Do I have the right type of thought in mind when I think of modern dance, as opposed to what it is that as far as what it is that you are doing?
Modern dance, that's nice. You know?
he been about you like, no, baby.
But when I came and I heard the drums,
Mhm.
when I heard Chom playing the djembe,
Mm.
you know, it talked to me,
Mm.
you know, and the movement, the ethnic movement, you know, it captivated me.
Mm.
So it's something, you know, that touched me really deeply that I could relate to,
Mhm.
because we don't when we dance, we don't dance the way modern dancers dance.
Mhm.
You know, it's you have to appreciate all art forms. Don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but some things you can relate to. It touches you. It brings something out of you.
Mhm.
And at the time of the 60s and 70s, I wouldn't want to say. I didn't plan to go there, but believe me, I was out there before, way before she.
All right.
It just woke something up in me, and I wanted to investigate that. I wanted to involve myself in it, because it was me. It was me, and it was where I wanted to go. You know? So I could put myself totally into it, and it was very rewarding. It really was. Yeah.
And the other aspect is that what Miss Dunham did with Dunham technique, she freed the pelvic girdle.
Now talk to me about that.
I mean, you move it, honey.
You're moving on.
Yeah, you moving it.
All right. Let's talk to me.
To give you an example, you know,
Yes.
if you have, I can't remember the name. Is it Gremlin?
Graham.
No,
No,
Gremlin. The band, the marching
Oh, yeah.
band.
Oh,
Graham,
yeah.
yeah.
HBCU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when you see them, those cheerleaders,
Yeah.
okay, or those majorettes,
Yeah. I went to
Okay.
K-State. I went
Okay.
to Kentucky State
Okay.
University, so I know how it is.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay, it's on. You know,
Yeah.
so there is and it's not a thing of being vulgar.
No.
You know, it's the thing of dance. It's what we do. You know, and so it's more relative to us, and our expression, our African expression of our being, you know, and how we relate to life, and living, how we approach life, the beauty, the sanctity of life, because it is all sanctity. One of the major dances that Dunham did was called a Rite of Passage, which means rites of passage. Okay, and it talks about a young girl making that final step into womanhood, and the trials and tests that she had to go to prepare her to become a full, mature woman. And on the other end of that was a boy's passage from boyhood into manhood to become a part of the warrior community and all of that. So she brought out these kinds of teachings and training that the young had to go through to have an honorable position in the community. Okay, and all the parts have to be together. There's teaching that has to go on about how you live life, how you approach your responsibility, your duty to yourself, and above all to your community. You know?
Is this how she was talking to you? Because I'm feeling it all up in here, and I'm just wondering when you said that you couldn't say no. I'm sitting here like yes, yes.
But you know, that's Dunham. You know, Dunham, like when you're studying Dunham, there's a mystical aspect to it. So that all comes with it. I mean, most of the Dunham teachers I know, they're talking to you as they're teaching you, you know. So if you embody the whole essence of it, it's not just the dance itself, it's the spirituality of it, it's all of it combined. And so it gives you a platform, a presence that's pretty dynamic, you know, pretty dynamic.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
So the idea was to reach the young people through the arts about life and responsibility and duty, okay, and courage, honor, and overcoming obstacles. And so once again, we've got to get back to the basics and reach our young people.
They do need to be reached. I mean, sometimes when I turn on the television, or I don't even have to turn on television, just look at social media.
Right.
I feel very hurt. You know, it's a I'm trying to look for a word that will describe it, but you just see a lot of things missing. A lot of guidance that's not there.
Right.
The longing for example.
Right.
And because of the easiness of following behind something that may not be the best suitable example that any of these young men should be following. You know,
or ladies.
Right, you're exactly right. I mean, we're so accustomed to nowadays it's become, you know, correct. I don't know what you call it that, but of putting up all of these videos of people fighting, people, you know, just degrading themselves.
Right.
And you know, I was like, man, when I was coming up, we wanted to be performing. We wanted to, you know, people to I mean, you know, being a stripper was not something that a female wanted to look for. That was the bottom. Nobody wanted to do that, but now you see it glamorized. You see, you know what I mean? It's just it's like that men and women or these young men and these young ladies, they just have lost their way and not having something to focus on. And I think something like what you all are doing is just so phenomenal, you know, and it's necessary. You know, how is this something that you're spreading? What's the thought behind spreading it around to different communities?
Well, I want to answer that, and I want to address what you said as it relates to strippers. Because if you're up north, if you say you're a dancer, they're like, what company you with? You know, and you know, they want to know. But if you say you're a dancer down south, they're like, what club you stripping at?
Right.
I mean, that's that is like really sad.
Yes.
Because the context of dance in this region is strippers.
Yes.
You know, and they've monetized it such that I know when I was working the program 20 years ago, one of the most attractive girls in the program, that's what she was doing to pay for her college. A lot of them, they actually paid their way through college stripping, you know, and it's just amazing. And to me, it's sad, you know, that is where we are, you know, in terms of, you know, our culture, that we're there. I mean, we've been so high, but now to be so low. So I just want to address that. But the question you asked me was, remind me?
In regards to how you spread it, what it is that you're doing.
Okay, so the website is a repository. We want it to become the Wikipedia of Black dance. So we've got to partner with some institutions so we can get some internships to help to build it so that it grows, you know, naturally and whatnot. The magazine, we have a quarterly publication that will be coming out before the end of the year.
Now, will this also be a digital magazine?
It will be, yes. It will be print and it will be online as well.
Great.
Yes. So that'll be a companion to the website. And then the annual event is to celebrate Black dance. And so this year, we're honoring, actually, Mr. Brown is one of our honorees.
All right now, Mr. Brown.
That's why Mr. Brown came to town.
All right. Yes, I see you right here. The panel, you gonna be on the panel?
And he's gonna be a panelist. But see, Mr. Brown has he's receiving stellar recognition, and there's himself and Trina Parks, and the stellar recognition is being awarded to those persons who have 30 years or more in the industry and are still teaching, or still dancing, still working. There are some of them that have that numbers, but they're retired.
Yes.
They're no longer teaching, like Frances Davis. She's the red carpet honoree. She's no longer teaching, yeah, but she's being honored as well. So with this here program, the launch of this program, we're going to do community programs. We actually have programs that we're going to launch here in Atlanta. Mr. Brown is working with Elevated Places Dance Company in College Park. In fact, when we leave here, that's where we're going. We're going there for a meet and greet.
Okay.
And he's going to set a work on them. And they're going to be the ones that's going to do a tribute to Catherine Mellon. And they range in age from 3 years old to 17, and they are the most darling children you will ever see. When you see them on Saturday, you will be in tears.
Yes,
I'm telling you, they're dynamic, and they're being led by Frederica Wilson, who is the artistic director, and she's been working with kids for 10 years. You go into those kids, they are on point. You know, 3 years old, to see someone working. So she's actually a Dunham model. I told her that you're a Dunham model. You're doing in the community what Miss Dunham was doing, and she's doing it with very little resources. So we're working to try to get her some technical assistance and some funding so that she can continue, and we can bring Mr. Brown back to continue to work with her. He's also going to set a work on a young gentleman here. His name is Xavier DeMar, And that's going to be the tribute to Archie Savage. So he's here actually to set work. He's going to be working here, from now until Saturday, working with the community to present. So 2 of the pieces that you'll see on Saturday night will be choreographed by Mr. Brown, who's also he's also a tap expert, and I mean he's like a what you call a dynamic,
It's all around.
guy.
You know, when you got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
You gotta be multi-talented.
You gotta spread it out. You gotta really kind of learn all avenues of your art. But the more important things to remember is that without good principled women, no good men can be born. Okay. So it's very important for us to treat and respect our women. Okay, because they are the ones that bring down the king, the Malcolm X, and all the great minds that have touched our communities and communities. So this is the avenue, by which we try to train the mind and impart the wisdom for the future of our generation. There was a time in ancient Egypt where the women were held on par with the pharaoh, and many times ran the country. Okay, so we have to get back to those times when we truly respected each other, but especially our females.
They have already. This is not his first time here. He was here last year, and he did some workshops. He has his own fan club.
Oh, all right.
So he's going to be a panelist for Saturday. Let me tell you about Saturday.
Okay.
It's a day of Dunham, so we're going to start out with a panel discussion called The Relevance of Dunham. Because there was a conversation that was had last year saying Dunham is no longer relevant. And we're like, yes, it is. And so we're going to have that discussion. That's going to be led by Mr. Brown and Trina Parks. And then we're going to have 3 people from the Dunham Board of Certification. That's Dr. Alberta Rose, Dr. Penny Gutbaldo, and Keith Williams. And so they're all going to be in discussion. It's going to be moderated by Dr. Leah Kreke, who is the director of the Honors Program at Morehouse College.
Oh, okay.
And then along with that, so that's the first panel discussion. The second panel discussion is going to be My Journey in Dance. And it's going to be Frances Taylor Davis, who is the diva. I mean, she's a Hollywood diva. Is that right? She's a darling. I mean, she's such a wonderful breath of fresh air.
Yes.
But she actually is a first. Back in 1946, she auditioned at the age of 16 with Miss Dunham and was given a scholarship. She didn't take it at that time because she was at 16. And 2 years later, she actually went to college. And she said she was in school and she told her father, I don't want to do this. I want to go to New York and take Miss Dunham up on her scholarship and train with Miss Dunham. So her father drove her to New York, got someone that she could stay with, and she began her training with Miss Dunham. Miss Dunham took her to Paris that same year. When they saw her when the Paris Opera Ballet saw her, they were so enthralled with her that they actually created a piece just for her. And that's how she was the first black with the Paris Opera Ballet, and that was in 1948. Subsequent to that, she went to Broadway, and she was the only black in West Side Story at the time.
Wow.
So when you see West Side Story, the credits, it says Elizabeth Taylor. It's not the Elizabeth Taylor. There was a Frances Taylor. She was Frances Taylor at the time. There was already a Frances Taylor on Broadway. So she took her middle name, which was Elizabeth. And so when you look at the credits for West Side Story, she is the Elizabeth Taylor. She ended up marrying Miles Davis, which ended her career. And
that's some history.
She was married to him for 10 years, but Prior to that, she did a sitcom with Sammy Davis Jr., One for the Show. And it was so controversial back then that they never aired it. They did the pilots for it, never aired. But she has a lot of first. She's the first of a lot of things. But she ended up, in his shadow, in Miles Davis's shadow. In fact, they just finished the biopic. Don Cheadle is just now finishing it, and it's going to be, in my understanding, it's going to be released as early as next year.
Wow.
So, and then also she's working on her story, her life story, to get it out there. So this is like her as well in terms of, recapping all the things that happened in her life. But she was the darling. She was a darling of Miss Dunham in terms of her being a prima donna and who she is. But she's a darling person. When you meet her on Friday, you're gonna love her. You're gonna fall in love with her just like I have. And yeah, in fact, I don't even call her Frances or Miss Davis. I call her beautiful. Because she is. I mean, she's beautiful inside and out. And to get back to your previous question to me in terms of what's going to happen, one of the things goals is to have programming here in Atlanta, because we're here in Atlanta, but also in my hometown, Springfield, Illinois. We want to have a summer program, Dunham program. And its proximity to East St. Louis allows us to do that, because then we can have the folks from East St. Louis to go in Springfield and do a summer program, and then alternatively have some come here to do training here in Atlanta. So, working with in collaboration with the Clark Center for the Performing Arts in New York, which was founded in 1959 by Alvin Ailey in Thelma Hill, is no longer a physical structure, but Jill Williams is undertaking a mission. She has an online repository, and it's absolutely fabulous. ClarkCenter.org. But anyway, so we are working with them too, as well as the Thelma Hill Performing Arts Center, which does have a physical structure. So our goal is to find organizations around the country and to work with them, partner with them for symposia, for workshops, for dance presentations. And by so doing, then we're spreading it around. Miss Dunham had her school of performing arts in New York in 1946, which predates even Thelma Hill and Clark Center. Yeah, and it was an impressive school. Trina Parks actually met Miss Dunham in 1964. She was recruited, and she was in her company. So Trina Parks, the other stellar honoree.
Yes.
So she was actually the first Black, what do you call it? James Bond girl, yeah. Thumper, yeah. Diamonds Are Forever, yes. Yeah, but it was her training in Dunham, and through Dunham she learned martial arts and everything, and that allowed her to be Thumper. She actually did those moves. They didn't need a stunt person. She was her own stunt person.
Wow, no, that's phenomenal. I mean, all the things that you're sharing. Lucky Fresh, what you got?
No, I'm looking over the two programs you brought in. It's a jam-packed weekend. Friday night celebration, and then Saturday's an all-day extravaganza. I just don't know which day to attend. And, because it's a great thing. I checked out your LinkedIn profile. You've always been, I'm a social media guy, you've always been involved with arts. I'm not trying to take it away from this event.
Well, that's good.
But, Springfield, Illinois, I spent some time there for about 3 months. The thing you did with Dr. King's book and that project, I mean, you've always been involved in arts.
Yes.
But what gravitated towards dance? And I know
dance, because I was trained in it.
But you got trained. I understand that, but there had to be something one day said I want to be trained in dance. What brought that? I'm going way back.
Well, no, actually, it would happen, Sarah.
Were you born when you came out the womb? You wanted to dance? I mean,
no. Maybe yes. But the opportunity presented itself, and my girlfriends, they were their parents paid for them to go to take dance. I was a scholarship student, and once I got in dance, I loved it. I mean, I lived it. And then what happened was Jackie saw the drive in me, and so she actually, not only did I dance, she had me run in the studio. I did the registrations for her. I taught 2 children's demo classes a week. And once I joined the company, I was a wardrobe person. So I think it was just the fact that I had a lot of energy and I had a lot of passion.
Right.
And then when I found dance, it was a natural vehicle because if I could describe myself, in the best way, dance is the clear articulation of me. Because it allows me to express myself, very clearly, and it's poetic, and it's dynamic, and it's sensual, and it's all of those things combined. And then Dunham, you dance, you barefoot, you dance into the drums, there's so much passion in it. So once once I got in it, it took over me. It's taken over my life, really.
Well, and you say taking over your life, I mean, it's with this program you're working on and doing, and you've done, again, you can check out her profile. She's done a lot with the arts, entertainment, a lot. From anything culture, fundraising, there's a wealth of information, but you keep gravitating back to dance. That's your passion. I mean, everything else you're doing, but
yeah, that's my passion. And I love the dance, not just Dunham. I like dancing. Like when you come to the event. So it's Friday, so Saturday, after we have the panel discussions, we're going to have some dance workshops. I won't be participating in those. I'll be watching those, right?
no, it's not that nice modern dance that Mr. Brown was.
No, it's going to be with the drums. And then for Saturday night at 6:30, we're going to have a reception. And we're going to have a Symphonia Youth Orchestra. They're going to be playing during the reception. And then at 7:30, we're going to start the big event. And that's going to be an extravaganza. When I say extravaganza, we have 8+ companies, dance companies in Atlanta. Oh, wow. It's like we're rolling out the red carpet for Miss Dunham. And so because I've worked with a lot of companies here, when I said I wanted to do it, a lot of them contacted me. I contacted them, they contacted me. There's people that we can't even put on the program because we only got 2 hours to do it. And then we're going to have the live jazz ensemble with Russell Gunn. They're going to be performing. They're going to be the background music for the entire evening.
That is, I love.
See?
I love live music. Everybody who knows me, the live music, the bands, the jazz, I love it.
That's the culture. But that's all part of it. And then after that, from 9:30 to midnight, we're going to party.
All right.
Then you'll see me dance. That's the celebration, yeah. And that's going to be, world music, reggae, and R&B.
Oh, cool.
So yes, Doug, dance is, that's me. I can't get away from it. I've tried to get away from it. It's so funny you said that because a colleague of mine said once, I've never met someone so diligent about dance. And she said to me, even the adversity you've had with it, you keep coming back to it, but it keeps coming back to me.
Right.
So to me, it's the fulfillment of my mission. I think this is the purpose. I think God brought me here for this. This is my purpose. So this is my destiny. And I finally got back on the road to my destiny. So to me, it's like, swimming,
I can see the journey in print, but now to hear you actually say it and to actually see it would be another thing.
And it's interesting you say that. You brought up my work with Martin Luther King III, which was a very good relationship and still is. But it was during that journey with him and helping him to finish my daddy, Dr. Martin Luther King, and then seeing all the challenges he has with his legacy and just trying to do anything. Trying to turn left or trying to turn right. There's always some kind of legal maneuver that's happening. And I said to him last year when we were in D.C. or when we got back from D.C., I said, Martin, I have a legacy to fulfill as well.
Right.
And I said, this is like where we part because I know that I couldn't get there from where I was, but working with him he actually helped me to define, where I am now. So I don't know if I would have gotten right where I am now, but working with him was part of the process that clarified to me what I'm supposed to be doing, because he has a rich legacy too.
Yes.
A rich legacy. And but he has a lot of restrictions. And so I don't have those restrictions. I can do what I want.
You can do what you want.
Yes.
And that's all right too.
Yes.
I feel that way about my station. I'm free to do.
Okay.
I'm not bound by the same things that terrestrial radio station or mainstream media. I can, there's a topic I want to deal with, subject matter, different type of guests that I want to have on. I don't have to get it cleared.
Thank you.
By someone else. I can go ahead and say, I think that's phenomenal. Let's have them on. It's good to be free.
Yes.
It's the creator that really sets our path.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we stumble trying to find out exactly who we are and where we are and how we fit in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I understand what she said. She tried to get away, but she always comes back.
Right.
Danse came back to her.
Yes.
And if we look at our lives now, it's music and the radio station that found you and you found it.
Yes.
And there's harmony there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know you belong in that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the radio station that's found you in your aspect, right? So we all have that thing that's individually us, that the Creator put in us and put in our path. And we're not happy until we find that thing.
Exactly.
And when we find each other, it's beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
It is.
But that's interesting what Doug said, because when I think about it, it wasn't until I turned this way fully, but I was telling someone it's kind of like baking a cake, right? If you're going to bake a cake, there's one of the things you have to do. You have to preheat the oven.
Yes.
If you don't preheat the oven, the cake is not going to bake right. So the oven has to be preheated, and you have to have the right ingredients in the cake. If you don't have the right ingredients, it's not going to rise.
Right.
So the oven had to be preheated and the right ingredients. So my life has been, I've been preheating the oven with all the struggle that I've been going through, you know, and then the ingredients have been coming into me. And so they finally, my alignment finally got right. Once my alignment got right and I turned this way, I just, wherever I went, I didn't even have to open the door. I would go and the door would open. Doors open before I got there.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and so that's when I knew that, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be.
This is it.
Yes.
That's it.
Can we talk one more time about the event, where it is, the time, all of that? I know it's Friday, October the 24th, Weston
No, it's
Atlanta
not.
Airport. I'm sorry. What am I looking at? Friday, October 24th?
Yeah.
That's the okay. Let me pick up the other one.
Keep it right.
Let's open that Saturday, October the 25th.
There you go.
I'm looking at everything. Weston Atlanta Airport Hotel, 4736 Best Friend. Best Road, College Park. That is in College Park, Atlanta, Georgia, 30337. And the time again?
It's all day. It's a day of done.
All day.
All day. Now the panel discussions are in the morning, the workshops in the afternoon, and the big events, the tribute and the after dance are in the evening, starting at 6:30 p.m. going into midnight.
Yes, indeed.
And the dinner, there's a dinner too.
Yes.
You will be fed. You will have a plate of dinner. So the attire is classy and sassy.
Now I saw sassy.
Yes.
So sassy is sassy now.
Sassy. Well, now that one is classy and
This one's
sassy.
classy.
Classy and sassy. Yeah. Because we got our folk coming in. Yeah, be classy.
Classy.
We got our folk coming in from Los Angeles.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so we have to make it classy and sassy because you know what they're gonna do, right?
Yes, it is. They gonna work it out.
And New York,
Yes. Yes, it is.
especially Walter Rutledge. He is what do you call it? A fashion, whatever you call it. He's a fashion bug. He's like from head to toe. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fashion show. I know that just by virtue of what it is. So in addition to that, the fashion show is free.
Okay.
Once you come, you get to see the fashion. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Can you tell everybody the contact information, the website, and all that?
Yes.
Before we got it?
The website is www.ladanse.com, and I'm going to spell La Danse Noire. That's LADANSENOIRE.com. And our phone number is 678-661-7342. The dinner tickets are $60 per person, $100 per couple. The workshops are $25 per person, and the panel discussions are $15 per person.
All right. Do you have any party remarks that you want to give before we end the segment?
Well, I'm so thankful that Mr. Brown was able to
Yes,
accompany me to this here interview. And I'm grateful for you, Bianca, and Doug for
Thank you.
graciously extending the invitation.
Yes,
And I'm looking forward to when we do some more programming that we can come in and spread some more of the love.
and that would be great.
Maybe
That
we
would be
could
great.
definitely promoted Lauren
Yeah.
in 3 days.
Yes, yes.
All right.
That was
You know.
good. That was
Thank
good.
you so
It's been really,
much.
really cool. I appreciate you so much for coming on. If you can wait a few minutes, when we go into this break, we can take a few pictures. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
All right, cool things. Keep it like right here on the Bianca Burwell Show. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll be back after this with sports and ladies' times. Goodbye.
So keep them active and eating well every day.
Yeah, a lot going on over here. All right.
All the healthy children on the healthy children. Get ideas. Get involved. Get going at letsmove.gov. That's let's.
You know the music. Doug Layman. Time to put it to you in layman's terms with your Beat Drops Radio Sports Update, the mini version, coming at you. We've got the Fall Classic going on. That's called the World Series in baseball. We're down to the World Series, the Kansas City Royals and the San Francisco Giants. And the first game was played last night, and San Francisco was victorious 7-1 over the underdog Kansas City Royals. Now, the Royals have been on a tear in the playoffs, and now they're in the World Series. So it's the best of 7. San Francisco was victorious last night, 7-1. Again, San Francisco Giants and the Kansas City Royals. Who do you like in that, Kansas City or San Francisco?
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
They've won a couple World Series in the last 4 years. They're just good. and the Royals haven't been there for, I don't know, 25 years. So but that's what
I'm liking.
That's the fan favorite. Well, another news story on that, actually yesterday, at the restaurant in Kansas City called Rockin' Brews, a waiter by the name of Ryan O'Connor was going back to get his tip at the restaurant.
Okay.
And the table he was waiting on was one of the baseball players' wives, Wade Davis. I don't know what Wade Davis's wife's name is. They don't mention that.
Right.
She goes, instead of giving you a tip, young man, how would you like 2 tickets to tonight's game? You can sit with us and the players' wives and everything else. We had those left.
Oh, wow.
So that was his tip. And
Oh my
they
God.
knew. So we went back to the store manager, say, I got to cut out, man. Those tickets are valued like at $1,000 or something. So
Yeah,
that was a
wow.
nice tip by Wade Davis's wife, who I don't know what her name is. I've read everything. Maybe she just don't want her.
Maybe not.
Maybe
She
not.
might not want that in the public, I guess. I don't
So
know.
that's a nice story. Onto the field now. Let's talk a little bit about Georgia football and Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley may be reinstated. He was out of action due to the fact that he signed some autographs and received some money, and they put that on hold. And the NCAA does not really frown upon that, so they restricted him playing for 2 games. But they are putting out a petition. What's the word? They're trying to get him reinstated to the NCAA, and it looks like that may happen.
Oh, okay.
Ray Rice is back in the
Rice.
news. He's filing a grievance with the Baltimore Ravens for cutting him after the fact that the NFL suspended him for 4 days. So basically, he got hit twice. He originally was suspended he was suspended four games.
Right.
And then they said, or it was 4 or 2, whatever.
Two games, I think it was.
Right. And then they said, no, all of it. And the Ravens said, we're just going to cut you.
Yeah.
So he got double duty on the punishment. Doesn't make
So
up for
he's filing suit.
filing some grievance with the with the Ravens for cutting him. No money. Don't be cutting me.
Right.
Speaking of money, I don't know if she made any money, but we talked about this a couple months ago. Monique Davis, the 13-year-old sensationally young woman pitcher, she did a television commercial last night. It was during the World Series for Chevrolet.
Oh.
That raised a lot of things like, is she an amateur? She shouldn't be getting paid. She's 13, and she wants to go play basketball at UConn. I remember she's 13.
Wow.
So, but the NCAA said, you know what, that's not an infraction. She still has her amateur status. They finally did something right, but she's got a little commercial going for her as well.
I don't know.
Briefly, I don't know, but she's doing a commercial, but she's Monet Davis, 13-year-old throwing 70-mile-an-hour fastball. I mean, she kind of took over the Little League World Series.
Not bad.
And woman power, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Exactly. Speaking of not having some power right now, the Atlanta Falcons are now 2-5, and they play the 5-2 Detroit Lions. It's an away game, but it's not at Detroit. It's at London. Actually, the Falcons and Lions are going to Wembley Stadium in London to play football this Sunday.
Why?
They've been doing that for the last 4 years. Not the Falcons, but they've been each year. There's 1 or 2 games that are played in London,
Interesting.
and London is making a big. The government is making a big. The British government is making a big push.
Yeah.
I get it out right third time to get an NFL team there. So they have these NFL games once or twice a year, whether it's an exhibition game
Okay.
or a regular season game. So it's a legit game.
Uh-huh.
So it's basically Detroit's the home team, but it's played in London. I don't know where they're going to play, but the Falcons need to play. They just need to play.
They need something.
They need
because
something.
They're just terrible. Absolutely terrible right now.
So let's talk about some positive football teams
Yeah,
that are
give me
doing
some.
well. Briefly, I'm going to break down the top 10 in the AP Associated Poll for college football.
All right.
Number 1 is Mississippi State.
Okay.
Number 2, Florida State. Number
Right.
3, Mississippi. 2 schools in Mississippi in the
Really?
top.
Okay.
Number 4, Alabama.
Okay.
All these teams besides Florida State. And number 5 is Auburn. 4 out of the 5 teams are from the same conference in the West Division, SEC.
Oh, that's not bad.
Not bad at representing. That's the first time ever. Oregon comes in at 6. Notre Dame falls to 7 after they got screwed by losing to number 2 Florida State on that call. And Notre Dame probably would be ranked number 1 if it wasn't for the jacked up call. Number 8, Michigan State. Number 9, Georgia comes in. And number 10, the Horned Frogs from TCU. All this means that the polls are going to get heated pretty soon from the standpoint they'll have what they call the BCS poll. And
Yeah.
what the idea is they want to get the top 4 teams.
Uh-huh.
And they're going to play a playoff this year. So number 1 plays number 4, number 2 plays 3, and the winner of those 2 games plays in the championship game. So
Mhm.
we're knocking it down. College football is almost halfway through. Polls are coming out, and that's what we'll be doing.
Uh-huh. All right.
Now,
That's
just
what we
breaking
need.
it down in layman's terms, that's your quick mini sports update. Again, the Falcons going across the pond to play Detroit Lions. Hopefully they can get a victory.
All right.
World
hopefully
Series.
they can. It's terrible.
And World Series Game 2 is on tonight at 8:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right. Well, that's cool. Before we jet out of here, I just had to make mention in regards to Tyrese going off about the comedian Spanky, just saying a whole bunch of stuff. Apparently, he got ticked off by the fact that this guy that has absolutely no reputation that people don't know, they don't know him. And you know, sometimes what folks do is they try to discredit somebody in order to raise their standards up. So Tyrese was saying that, and you can see this on Facebook because Tyrese always puts stuff on Facebook, his little thoughts.
Right.
And he's walking around his mansion, you know, smoking a cigar with his fur blanket, saying, normally I don't say anything about stuff like this, but I'm going to say something. Because basically the guy Spanky was trying to say that Tyrese did some type of sexual favors in order to get his lead role in Baby Boy, and it came down to the 2 of them. And Tyrese was like, no. First off,
That's old news.
yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, he was like, no. First off, John Singleton wrote that part specifically for Tupac, and when Tupac passed away, you know, it was him. And it took a while in order for that to take place, and he rolled the numbers. He said, if you do the numbers, that made you was about 13 years old when this movie came out. And if you know anything about Baby Boy is about a young man who's grown but don't want to leave his mama's house. Remember, he had 2 baby mamas
Right.
in there. But it was just interesting, you know, how folks want to do that. But he said, you know what? And he made reference to Morris Chestnut as well. So he said, you're done in this town. You're done. And you know what? Unfortunately, that's how that works sometimes.
I definitely have to check that
You
shit
gotta
out.
check that out already. I mean, you just can cut your own throat sometimes by doing the most stupidest stuff, you know, like such as that. Never stupid. I want to thank Carol Lloyd of Black Dance Magazine, Danse, Noire. I think I said it right this time. Did I?
I don't know.
You're supposed to help me out, man. Again, you guys, you want to support everything that she has going on. A Day of Dunham, Restoring the Legacy, which is Saturday, October the 25th. Weston Airport Hotel, 4736 Best Road, College Park, Georgia. That's exactly where it's going to be. The attire is classy and sassy, I believe is what she said. Classy and sassy. And we had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Ed Brown today, which I think is very phenomenal. And they have a whole panel of guests. Also, the relevance of Dunham is that one. That's from 9 a.m. to 10:15. My Journey in Dance, 10:30 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. And it's just a whole lot happening. Networking Mixer, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And the red carpet honoree is Francis Taylor Davis. So I'm looking forward to that. seeing as though the invitation has been extended to the Beat Drops Radio. So I'm excited about that, Doug.
It's good stuff.
All right. How can they contact you, sir?
They can contact me through TheBeatDropsRadio.com, or you can check me out socialsellingtv.com, or just Google me.
Just Google it.
That's right.
All right. If you haven't done it already, make sure you like us on Facebook. Go to TheBeatDropsRadio.com. Click on the app. That'll take you directly to our Facebook page where you can click like and suggest us to all of your friends. Follow us on Twitter at BeatDropsRadio, and also my Instagram handle is Bianca_Burwell. If you want to be a guest here on the Bianca Burwell Show, all you got to do is just go to the website and contact us and type it on in. That's all they got to do.
That's all they got to do.
Yeah, definitely. And artists, any artist wants spins for your song, just go to TheBeatDropsRadio.com, click on Submit Your Music. It's in yellow on the top right. Follow all the guidelines there, and you might be featured on New Music Monday. Just saying. Looking forward. Download the TuneIn app. Take us where you go.
Mobilely on any device. And stick around. We got some extra special shows coming on that are live. We got Master Christian Dog Trainer in the building, getting ready to bark all over the metro with some great tips, and we got Full Belly Radio coming up as well.
Indeed. So keep it locked right here on the Beat Drops Radio. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, go give everybody a high five. Go give everybody a high five.
All right.
Go around there and give her a high five. Well, no, the other. Yeah, go that way. Go give her a high five.
What's going on there? How you doing?
Tell her what your name is.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Bianca.
And ask him.
Nice to meet you.
This is Mr.
July.
Doug.
Hi.
Stop it, bro.
Come on back. This is Ayana.
Stop the
Ayana.
broadcast. Stop the broadcast.
Yeah. Going to do the radio